Hey, what's up? Today we're going to do a Cosmoteer video on the Starship Architect and Commander thing right here, and we are going to do a video on your ship designs and upgrading them as you progress in the game. So this is going to help you give you a baseline for some possible designs you might want to do or incorporate into your ships as you progress and get more people at the early part of the game right here. So let's load up just a regular old game here, and we'll start off where we left off in the last video on starting the game. So you started the game up, you have your ship design, and now you're going to be upgrading some. So let's go over to the blueprints here and show you that old one there just to give a nice little recap right here. So you start off and say we're going to pick the shield generator ship right there, and which one do you want, which design I would have picked myself if I had the choice at the start of the game right here. I think I would have gone with the I think I went with stage 2. Yeah, the extra thrusters are important, yeah. So I would have went with this design right here. Let's zoom in right here. If I started my game over fresh again, and this is what I would have picked for my starting ship. Try and get a nice good view here. So you can start with a design like this for your ship, and it has a nice reverse thrusters and the lasers and the shield going on there. So you got some defense, and you have all of your basic crew are nice everywhere you can go. You got some cargo bay, and you have lots of room to expand in the back to add cargo and upgrade your ship. So this is like your start. So let's go on to the stage 2. So now you have more crew, you have more funds, you got some loot there. It was nice and easy. If you saw the other one, it's easy to kill some basic ships, outrange them. You got the extra reverse thrusters to keep the range. So you only have to worry about your laser damage, and your shield can take care of that. But now we need some more. So let's load up stage 2 or level 2 right here. So let's load up my possible design. You don't have to make everything exactly the same, but this is my stage 2 design. So now we have more crew. This one holds 24. I have more crew than I need right now. Yeah, because I got more crew, but this gives you more crew expansion availability. You got some nice big cargo bays right there in front of you, and now it incorporates disruptors, and you doubled your lasers up. So you doubled your firepower, and you got some disruptors to take care of their shields. So now you can take care of their shields. You got some nice armor in the front. You're nice and protected. It's low on the power end, but we have a capacitor right here to deal with all the extra power we might actually need versus what your ship can produce. So this is a nice cheap upgrade design right here, and of course you have lots of cargo room in the back, which is the important part here. We got lots of room to add cargo and stuff like that, and of course this is easily expandable. You can keep expanding it outwards, adding more lasers, but this is your basic step 2 design on your ship, adding more lasers and rearranging the space and having more thrusters and stuff like that. I took away some of the reverse thrusters on this design, but you can always keep adding more. It's not too hard if you wanted to keep extra thrusters for the reverse. It's just a little bit more money, but not too much by expanding stuff like that. And then where's the thruster command right there? That should be the thrusters, right? Yeah, all that command's right there. And then we're still working with the standard thrusters, and we could just add some more on here like that for reverse thrusters, and we're still good to go. Like, there you go. And we don't need more for going forward, but you can add more if you want. But yeah, so that's still good. It's just going to cost you a little bit more, and you can keep expanding out like that, for example. So now we have the firepower, defense, and a lot more cargo expanding capabilities, and now we can take care of guys with shields and stuff, and still outrange them with our nice reverse thrusters type of a deal, and it's still good for one-on-one type of a combat. We can't really turn very well with this type of design, but you can just it's just not too hard to rearrange your ship. That gives you a good baseline. So let's go to level 3 right here. So now we're a little bit bigger. I moved the thrusters up in the front, and we've upgraded to heavy lasers. So now we got the heavy lasers. These are worth a lot more for damage wise and stuff like that, and we got our shield generator in the back. But of course now we want the mining lasers, so we're going to progress, and we got some upgrades. We have enough money to buy upgrades for lasers and mining lasers, and we're going to incorporate that into our design. It's nice and blocky and squarey, lots of room to expand sideways and stuff like that. We've got 2 shield generators going on to keep going on. So this is how you can keep expanding sideways for more firepower, is by just keep adding more shield generators and keep expanding sideways like that. Had to add the extra cockpit room here, so you're not gonna get one shot from if something happens and you lose a cockpit, you're gonna still survive in that regard. But yeah, this is your basic. You're still attacking, you're still going fast, and you still have lots of cargo room. You can expand and add doorways and whatever. This is just an example, and the mining lasers can be anywhere in your ship. They just have a short range, but they can just be anywhere, and they have their big huge arc, and it doesn't really matter which way you're going because you're just going to be using them to mine stuff. But now you can mine, you got your basic cargo, and then you got your big huge cargo bay in the back. So this is just an example here of what you can do for a simple design, nice and cheap. But now we have upgraded our power core too. You gotta notice that too. So now we have oversupply of power. So now we can easily start expanding the ship by adding more heavy lasers instead of having the thrusters here, moving them over. You could wing it out and have the thrusters on the bottom over here some more if you want to expand this side out. Of course, then you can start adding point defense systems and stuff like that too. They take a lot of power and a lot of people stuff, but you don't actually need the people and power to supply it. You can go over top of your limit because they fill them up, and then they only get used when they get used, basically, right? So you don't need to worry about the charging. But yeah, we have our power and stuff is spread out, and we have lots of room for cargo in the back here to start keep expanding. And this nice easy baseline is this video here is to give you a baseline idea on what you can do for your speed and maneuverability. So now this one has the basic speed, but we're looking to upgrade our speed and stuff like that. And then now you have a nice, a good attack ship, good defenses, shield penetration, and stuff like that to deal with other ships. So just make sure you can keep outranging them so the disruptors can't get you. The disruptors have a range of 180, so if they have a shield, you can outdo them with more heavy lasers. So yeah, the first upgrade you're going to do to this ship right here is add some more heavy lasers to the front, which is going to take up more power than what you have, but you're going to have a surplus because you got the engines and stuff like that, and then you have mining lasers to actually mine stuff. So now you can go out mining and get all the rare resources to get a whole bunch of money. And let's go to the next design, the last one on here, because that's all you really need is when you got that, that ship value where it was like close to 200k. But now that you did a whole bunch of mining and stuff, you got lots of upgrades. Let's just go to a basic railgun ship. Now don't criticize my designs too badly because they're not perfect. They're just what I did on the fly type of a deal for playing. So this is my ship right here. It's only got 84%, and the optimum value would be, of course, the 100%. So I could just keep adding more. I just didn't have the crew capacity at the time to do it. Now I do, so now I could add it and upgrade it if I was going to play the game some more and do some stuff. I could keep doing it. But yeah, this is the one I want to look at. Yeah, so right now it's at 6 accelerators, and you can go to 7 to get the optimal input right there. You can't even see it on there because it's too zoomed in. Let's go up a little bit higher. There we go. We can see all the values there. Yeah, and then now you can want to go to basically 8 if you want to get the maximum range, because it's only the range. It only goes up to 100%. So you going higher than 100%, you're not getting the range, and the range is what you really want. So 7 or 8 is optimal. You're only going to gain 5% more by going with 8, and it's going to be longer for the difference. You're just going to get the more damage, so more damage is always helpful. But after you get the length on here, I would go with a 2 railgun design. But for now, you just need the 1 railgun. It's a killer, and that's all you need to worry about. As long as your railgun is bigger than the other guy's railgun, and yes, the other ships will have railguns too, but they don't go this long. So this one here has this big. They usually stop at 4 or 5 railguns on their ships for accelerators, and so you can outrange them by going with 6 basically. So as long as you have like 6, you're going to be more than they have. They might have only 4 for their basic designs until later on, but this is good enough. This is heavily defended too. I like to mix and match, even though it's not necessary to have all these defenses, because you can outrange these guys and they can't do anything about it because your range on the whole railgun is 300 meters plus that 84%. So yeah, that's why it says max range 600 meters. That's all we got to worry about is our speed and getting up to them and making sure these guys have power supplies and access to the guns to fire them. Unfortunately, the railgun, I believe, still needs people on both sides to access it. So you need room on both sides on the top of it to access. The sides down here, they only need 1. They only need access to 1. But the top one there, they need 2. So you can't stack them side by side. They're kind of limiting you, so that you can't stack a whole bunch of them side by side type of a deal, because they can't go through here. They can't walk through these zones. They're not walkable. The railgun's in the way, basically. So you can't go in front of them or behind them type thing to get people across. So you're at the you have to manage it this way, this type of style. But yeah, we got the shield, get the power supplies, the mini power supplies all over the place to make it cheaper. We have the shield generators, we have disruptors just in case they have shield disruptors on there and they get close, and then we have the point defense systems right here all over the place to provide us with a huge arc. I got armor over here to help arc the sides over here too, just because, you know, I wanted to add a little bit just in case they get, you know, the little fast ships might come in there, but you're fast enough. All our people have nice access to everywhere on the ship, and let's don't do that. Let's zoom in properly. Let's zoom out properly and get a nice, good design view of it. Sorry about that. Should have done that a little bit earlier. It's hard to navigate because of controls. If you can get a better view. It's hard to get I want to get a zoomed up view because, you know, the windows while watching this is so small, so you can actually see everything a little bit more appropriately. So maybe this will be a good place to pause it. I'll give you a second to pause it because you know how fast that, you know, pause button doesn't work. But anyways, yeah, we got the side thrusters right here. We have upgraded to large thrusters. We still have our little mining lasers we have over here, and we got our sensors. A sensor array is always nice to have, and you're gonna need, it needs 4 crew for this sensor array, just so you know. So it's always good to assign a crew quarters directly to it on purpose, and make sure you have at least 4 people in that crew thing on there, in the crew compartment. If you're low on crew, just make sure there's at least 4 or 5 because it needs 4 to run, and it's a pain in the ass when you're flying around and there's dips, you know, low range and high range, and it's really helpful to fly around with that sensor thing up there. Right there, we got the bigger bridge. We are good on command points, and we are good on power supply. We got a little bit over power supply, so we can expand. So this is good for expanding and making your railgun longer. Is just adding more stuff at the end, and of course we're using the engine rooms, and we have the huge and large thrusters combos right here, just because, you know, these ones take too long to power up. So the smaller ones will have a little shorter time to power up and thrust you backwards, so you have a little bit more thrusting speed versus accuracy, and it's a little bit better than the actual thrust burners because they just keep going and then they stop and they're useless after that. But we have lots of point defense systems still all over the ship. That's why it needs so much power. We have way over the power that we need, but that's why we're using mostly the small ones. But I needed to put the bigger ones in here. And to even it out, I wanted to put the bigger ones in there, just because I want to have enough power to run everything and move around and stuff like that without worrying about the recharging and stuff like that. But right now it is overpowered for the power department, and the gun is overpowered for the range and killing department. But now we have the core systems are done, and we can keep expanding them outwards and maybe add a capacitor or something. But the engine rooms right here, they supply the power, and that 50% bonus to all the thrusters nearby is a good thing to do. And then, you know, the added defense I put over here is just, you know, for fun type of a deal. And then, you know, the back right here is where they load it, and you just assign your cargo slots to make sure your cargo is for your ammo, and that's all you really need for cargo supply for ammo. Is just, you know, maybe one of these things is about it. Maybe 2 if you're going to be out there for a long time. You get ammo, so don't worry about that too much. And of course you could do the supply runs and have cargo supply nearby too. But yeah, this is a basic design, and then you have extra armor on there. This is, you know, you take this away basically. You place it with these things right here, so we can stack 2 of these together side by side, and then we can keep going down there with our cargo and keep adding more and more. We have all the extra thrust that we need, so we can keep expanding our cargo bays as much as you want backwards, because we're still going to have the power to go reverse. And then if you start dropping below 85 for your max speed or something like that, or 80 probably, because you have too much cargo stuff like that, then you start adding some more engines on right here or something like that. But as you expand, you might have some room to actually do thrusters on the other sides or the front, because you're not going to get hurt too much. So it's not that bad of a problem putting big thrusters on top. But yeah, this is the overall design for the railgun. I find this is to be the best weapon to use, just because you can outrange guys, outspeed them, and you can just tear them apart. It's got huge penetration capacity, and it's a lot easier than going around and navigating with building the crystal laser design right here with the ion prisms. Those are like the older things. Railguns are newer and better basically. But yeah, you can still go with the older designs that people have on there. We're using the ion prisms and their whole big stack values on their ships, but the ion beam, it does have its lower range. Its range is still good at 300, but since you can get double the range with the railgun, you're going to double the range. If anybody that has a ion beam cannon ship isn't going to be able to touch you as long as you can go faster than they can, and and that's about it. And your speeds are going to be matched, so as long as, you know, there's going to be a max speed for all these designs, and as long as your speed is just matches theirs or better, they can't get to you, and that's the whole object of the game. They can't get to you. You got your huge railgun. You start pinging them off, you know, nice and slowly from far away. Yeah, it's a slow fire weapon, but you know, the huge damage, you know, it starts at 10k, I believe it was his damage. Yeah, 10k damage, and then you get up in the percentage wise, and then later on you start stacking with 2 designs right here. You start double stacking them. I have a ship right there. It is not done. It's not done and working properly. I was just fooling around with it, but this is a double railgun design right here. As you can see, I don't even have enough crew for it yet. It needs like 127, so you know, you could get away with all the reverse engines and the shields and the point defense systems that you don't really need. I can probably get away with it right now if I do proper crew assignments that are close by. But yeah, I've doubled up the engines for the reverse engines in the middle, because we don't need anything in the middle here, and they're safe. So you always have some engines that are going to be safe on the sides in this type of design. But you needed the crew quarters up here in the middle, as you see, got heavily armored, and you could do whatever you want in the front here. I just kept the minor defenses on here and tried double stacking these railguns out here. But you're going to need an airlock. You're going to need some crew beds, because you're going to need to worry about feeding the stuff on the side there. So my first design didn't have this, and I was trying to get the guns to work, and they weren't firing, so I had to start, you know, putting this stuff in the middle here instead. So yeah, they got their own airlock. You can trap them in after, so once you get your crew in here, you take the airlock out, and then they're stuck in there, and then it's good to go. They can't go in and out, and then you have your designated crew to run the shields, run these engines here, and run the power on the railguns right here. You could probably just take care of this door so they don't actually go in and help this side, but you know, extra crew members, and that doesn't hurt. It just helps you out with making sure that your railgun functions. That's your main priority. So just make sure you're assigning the crew members some of your ship crew quarters to do the railguns. That's about it for that. We can discard these modifications, go back to my ship, and that's what I have on mine right here. So I can go on to my crew management system and see I got the way lines going on here. It is just that's all I did for my crew management. So I got this guy. Make sure you're doing the railgun loading and stuff like that for this one right here. And this crew right here is make sure you're doing this right here. And I got the whole crew. Make sure you get the sensors, because I told you they were important. And then this crew was worried about this, and then of course I got the, you know, the port and loader part. This crew is just focused on that, and then the rest can do whatever, like, you know, just make sure like somebody is doing the, you know, you guys work, you know, make sure you're doing part of the engines, and then the rest of the guys are like free floaters around there, so they can help out wherever they're needed. But you know, you need the essentials. You need the crew to go with the essentials, and you can divide them up, because you know, there's 6 crew to a bed, and you only need like 1 crew or 2 crew members to make sure these are filled up. So that's why they're split up, but you know, that's why they're prioritized, to make sure, you know, well, some guys can sleep. I don't know, who knows if they sleep or not, but you know, having a 1-to-1 ratio doesn't work effectively, because they're running around doing whatever. So you need a guy on there full time to go back and forth. So that's why I got a little bit extra crews. But that is my ship design. So I hope you enjoyed this little helpful video on progressing in this game till you get to a ship design similar to this. Just, you know, go with the railgun, make it bigger and better. This is my actual ship, so it's a little bit smaller on the railgun. I didn't expand it yet and actually do the upgrade yet that I was building. But yeah, this is where it's functioning right now, and even at this size right here, it is good enough to I just kill everything before they can even touch me, and it works, you know, effectively, and where I don't even need these point defense systems. But you know, it's good to have these point defense systems on, because people will start using nuclear missiles and stuff like that. So if a nuclear missile hits you, they can really tear apart a huge chunk of your ship. It would be a really bad day. So make sure you do have some basic point defense systems that can cover like most of your angles on your ship, which will totally negate these missiles. And if you can double stack it up, even better on the important parts where they can't get to you, then you know, they can't do nothing to you, and you don't have to worry about shielding everything. So I hope this helps you out, and thanks for watching. And that's about it for this right now. And I guess my next video on this would be when they actually do something new content update for this game. Unless there's anything else you could suggest you need help with. I didn't need help with anything else after I didn't really need help doing it. This is just to help you, a guideline to help you get this stuff done. And that is about it. So we can load up the better design right here, a little bit more space and on there and stuff like that, so you can see it one last time. But that's it. I'll talk to you later, or I'll see you later, or whatever. Bye.